The Birthplace of Country Music Car Show welcomes Dream Rides to Bristol, Tennessee. Let's see some classics. Straddling two states, we find a very special event.
What would a car show be without a red convertible Mustang? Now, I met up here with Aaron, who actually has one.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this car.
Well, actually, it's my dream car. My first car was a '68 Mustang in high school, and it was a mess, rusted out. So I've had this one about 7 or 8 years now.
7 or 8 years.
Did a restoration on it, engine, interior, exterior, everything. So.
And you did everything, right?
No.
No?
I supervised. I say we loosely.
Loosely?
Because, yeah, I didn't actually do the hands-on part. I did help, but yeah.
Yeah, I noticed there's somebody back there.
You missed a spot over there. Just kidding. Yeah.
So tell me more about, because I know one of the things that these ponies have is horses under the hood.
Right.
So how fast she go?
She goes fast, and because it's light, it's got a straight 6, 200 motor in it, and we kept everything original. We didn't, it's got disc brakes, no power steering, kept everything the same as it would have been right off the factory floor, so.
Dude, do you know how lucky you are? You know how hot this is that she knows about a car?
That's real hot to have a woman know about a car.
This is every man's dream right here, right here.
No, I love it. I love it.
I just came upon this really cool 63 Nova. Now, the first thing I noticed when I came up on it is, if you look down here, it's got this really cool Moon Eyes badge. Now, that's old school. Even more old school, it's a wagon. Now, you would think that some old dude like me actually owns this car, but believe it or not, this car was built by a 16-year-old. Really, 16-year-old wanted a wagon, and that is incredibly cool, and we're gonna talk to him about it. How'd you get the car? Tell us about that.
Was at a cruise-in West Virginia one night, saw it, and just had to have it.
Why a wagon?
Different. Well, it was different. Now it's kind of the trend, but
it's getting
different
popular.
at the time.
Okay. Now, did you do all this yourself? Do you have a family member help you?
It was kind of a grandson-grandfather project.
Your grandfather helped.
Yes.
Tell me more about that, about your grandfather helping you?
Yeah, just whatever we knew how to do, we did, and what we didn't, we got a buddy of ours to do, so.
And your grandfather, is he into cars? And
yeah.
Does he have a really cool car?
Yeah, he's got a 1953 Chevy pickup and a 71 Nova.
And that's where you got your love, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So did you work on those cars with him when you started?
Yeah, I helped him with the truck as much as I could. He lives far away, so it was hard, but when I was there, I tried.
What's your grandfather think of this?
He loves it.
He loves it?
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to let me have it.
Really?
Yeah.
How long when did you finish it?
About a month or two ago.
A month or two. How long did it take you to build?
About 2 years. What really took long was, I was bought a little bit of body work here and there, and ordering parts.
Ordering parts. What about the, it's inline 6, right?
Yes.
Yep. Did you do the engine work yourself? Or?
No, the engine's been done for a while. It came out of a buddy of ours' car.
Okay.
He sold the car. A guy bought the car, didn't want the motor, so he just basically gave it to us.
So what did it look like when you picked it up in West Virginia?
It's solid white, house paint.
Really?
Stock interiors, original blue, and had Maybelline in big letters on the back.
Maybelline?
Yeah.
And you took that out?
Oh, well, we took it off, but we got a guy to pinstripe it on the glove box, kind of keep it.
Okay, so is she Maybelline to you?
Yeah, that's the name.
So that's your girlfriend?
Yeah.
What do the girls think of this?
Oh, they love it. Yeah.
Chick magnet?
Yeah.
Our next featured car wasn't too far away.
Is this the first collector car you've owned?
This is the first vet we've ever
First
owned.
vet?
Yeah.
Wow, usually vet runs deep in people's bones. So what made you want a vet?
Well, back when I was delivering papers, I always wanted one. I saw them when they came out.
Okay.
My wife and I have had this one almost 40 years.
40 years?
Yeah, same car.
40 years, wow. So this looks pretty much like when you bought it. What have you done to it since then?
Drive it.
There you go.
We've drove it quite a bit, and well, I redid the car in 80 and 81.
Okay, what did you do back then?
Complete body.
Complete body?
Yeah,
okay.
body, frame, interior, everything.
Okay.
Motor.
Motor?
Well, I rebuilt the motor, rebuilt the car completely.
Did you? Tell me about some of those things specifically, about the engine and anything you did with the stance, the suspension, just some of the neat tricks, your favorite parts of the car.
Well, I just put it all back stock.
Okay.
And it's got the original motor, transmission, and it's automatic, air conditioned, power steering, power brakes. It's a loaded car. And that's one reason we like it so well. Plus it's a convertible.
It's a convertible with air conditioning, so you got the best of both worlds.
Right. Good. If it gets hot with the top down, just turn the air on.
Perfect. That's perfect. Wait, so your wife enjoys this?
Yes, she enjoys it too, and she likes to drive it as much as I do.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you take it on long cruises and stuff?
No, we've gone to the beach in it and things like that. We do drive it quite a bit.
That's what they're made for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're made for.
I couldn't see setting it and parking it.
So you, when you're tired and done with it, what happens with it?
Well, when I get too old to get in it and drive it and enjoy it, I'm going to sell it.
You're going to sell it?
Yeah. Part of my 401 that I get to play with and enjoy.
So you're riding around in your 401k?
Right.
Good.
Coming up, the history of country music finds its own mecca. Dream Rides has been brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping, and by Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. And by B&M Racing and Performance, quality performance products that work. And by Hurst, America's #1 shifter. The birth of country music is celebrated by more than only a car show. So how about this town called Bristol?
Bristol is a very unique place. You know, we're right on the state line of Virginia and Tennessee. Our downtown's split in half, State Street, half Tennessee, half Virginia. It's what makes us unique. You know, what also makes Bristol unique is that we're the birthplace of country music. We have a museum that's going to commemorate that, that's now open. But what also makes Bristol special, that makes us known to the world, is the Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the world's fastest half-mile track. People also know us for our dragsters, our funny cars at Thunder Valley at the Bristol Dragway. It truly is a Thunder Valley as it goes down the track because it is right in the valley. But our motorsports and our music, they blend together to make this a unique place to come visit. So we're very special to have Bristol in both states, the music, the racing, and our heritage.
Bristol's known by many as a racing mecca, with the Speedway, the world's fastest half-mile just down the road, and Thunder Valley for drag racers. But Bristol also has a real cultural significance. I'm standing here in front of a wall of 78. These represent the 1927 sessions of country music that were recorded here in Bristol, Tennessee. But we're actually in Virginia, which is the home of the newly opened and gorgeous Birthplace of Country Music Museum.
The purpose behind the museum is to acknowledge and to discuss and showcase the 1927 Bristol sessions, which is when the recording producer Ralph Peer came to this area and recorded several artists who would then go on to become country music giants of the early and mid-century, including Jimmie Rodgers and the Carter family. So the museum features selections from all of the artists that were on those original 1927 recordings, which includes many people that are known and some unknown, people like Ernest Stoneman and Maybelle Carter, but also unknown, some gentleman named L. Watson, who is not very well known. The Alcoa Quartet. The Teneva Ramblers, a lot of people who don't get a lot of attention. But it doesn't just stop with the 27 sessions. It also kind of seeks to explore the impact of those sessions. So Ralph Pierre came back in 1928. There were recordings in Johnson City nearby a couple years later, but also in the continuation of bluegrass through Bill Monroe to country and Johnny Cash, and people who are still performing today in this area. Johnny Cash referred to the 27 sessions as the single most important event in country music history. And a scholar named Nolan Porterfield was the one who coined the term the Big Bang of country music. Now, they weren't the first recording of country music. Things had been recorded in as early as 1922 and 23. The reason the Bristol sessions stand out is because they were the culmination of energy, talent, and reception that really started the industry and that we still know as country music. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We have a really good relationship with Smithsonian. They provide a lot of support. They open up avenues that maybe would otherwise be more difficult to access.
Yeah.
They provide a lot of support in terms of, you know, they were here the whole weekend, grand opening. We had people from the museum side. We had people from the Folkways, Smithsonian Folkways label here.
Which is an amazing label. They've preserved so much music. I actually used to work in the entertainment industry.
Oh, nice.
And so I know all about Folkways. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Where do folks in Nashville think of?
Yeah, I was going to say in Nashville.
Yeah.
You know, honestly,
they owe you.
There haven't been any problems.
Good.
We have so far we've got a really good relationship with the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I bet they love this.
We don't see it there's any way that there's a competition.
I don't think so.
Particularly as we start talking about tourist dollars.
Yeah.
Because we think that the tourist who is going to come here is equally interested in going there.
Sleep, babe. No, don't open it. I'm safe.
Coming up, an offer that can be refused isn't.
I'm walking down the street here in downtown Bristol when I come upon an absolutely iconic car, a Lincoln convertible. Only problem is, it's not a Lincoln, it's a Mercury.
It's a 1966 Mercury Monterey convertible.
It's not a Lincoln.
It's not a Lincoln.
Do people often confuse it?
Every day.
Tell me more about that.
They think it's a Cadillac or a Lincoln. I have to explain to them, it says Monterey, it's a Mercury.
It's a Mercury?
Yeah.
Now, tell me how you found it, first of all.
Well, I was looking for a Galaxy 500 because I have two Galaxy two-door hardtops and I wanted a convertible. Well, I run across this one and it's more rare. So it was under a lean-to and the raccoons ate the seats out and it had a bad quarter panel. But we pulled it up on a trailer, hooked a chain to it, and pulled it up on the trailer with another truck.
Gotcha.
And then we brought her home. And then we started working on it.
Now, you said she's rare. Tell me why she's so rare.
Well, number one, it's convertible.
Yep.
And number two, it's 3-speed on the column. Everything's on the floor.
That's very rare.
Very rare.
Very rare.
Had to be a special order back then.
I think it probably was. Tell me some more about your favorite parts of the car, some of the restoration.
Well, after I got new seats, they're nice, but I added air ride and air horns to it. make it a little different yet. But it's all stock except for the air rides and air horn.
Air ride and air horn, okay. The engine stock?
The engine's all stock.
What is the engine again?
It's a 390, 3-speed on a column. Oh, 390.
It's a 390? Okay, great. And I noticed the other thing too that I think is really cool is you restored the wide whites on it, and you did something else on the passenger side.
Yes, I added the curb feelers. Back in my day, you only parked on one side of the street. Always on the curb was always to your right, so you had to have curb feelers on that side to protect your white walls.
Do people ask you why you don't put them on both?
They don't even know what they are.
They don't know?
No, they kick them and wonder, what is this? They don't know.
Well, it's great.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the car?
Always go to car shows and cruises every Friday and Saturday.
Every chance you get?
Every chance I get. And it isn't raining.
This car's owner didn't expect his offer to be taken.
It came out of Popular, North Carolina. A group called Push Rods had built the car in probably 2006, 2007. They'd owned it since. I had a friend in Irwin who traded for it a couple weeks ago. And when he got it, I traded a 30 Ford Model A for it.
Because you build your own car.
I build my own cars.
So why did you buy a car when you build them?
I like them any way I can get them.
There you go.
And when my buddy got it, I knew he was going to trade it quick, so I hit him up with an offer I didn't think he would take, and he did, so I got it. I've owned it a couple of weeks, and I've had it pinstriped and done a little bit of work to it. So, people's going to kill me here, but I'm usually a Chevy man at heart now, so these Ford guys don't kill me. But when they come up with a Ford motor in it, I still took it anyway. So
it does have a Ford motor.
Yeah,
what's in it?
It's got a 302 Ford in it out of a 71 model Mustang.
Okay.
C4 transmission, power steering, disc brakes, 8-inch Ford rear end. And
the rear end's low. What's the?
They've lowered it all down and dropped spindles and stuff. It's not on air ride or anything, but it's been dropped.
And the rims are really sweet.
Old cool Steelies. DF Goodrich, wide white radials. It's old school all the way.
So what's your wife think of it?
She loves it. She
color
really likes
and everything?
It. Huh?
You love the color and everything?
Yeah, so she's about to get tired. Everything I do or paint or get is green anymore. And she said we're going to have to start changing colors of our rides. And if I'd have done it myself, it would have still been green. So I got it already done for me. So.
What's your favorite part of this car?
The tension it grabs, the chop top, of course.
How much is it chopped?
He didn't tell me, but I'm assuming 3 inches. About from other cars I see, I'm assuming about a 3-inch chop.
Got 3-inch chop. And now that you're the owner, sole owner of it, what are you gonna do with it?
I'm gonna try to hang on to it. I've owned so many cars in my life, and my wife had told me I've probably owned everything with wheels on it at least once. But I've only had 2 customs. I had a 50 Hudson, I think it's a 50 chop top, and then this one. So I've been into street rods most of my life, but try something different.
That's awesome, because the only thing that would make this car even cooler is me in it.
Coming up, Eric takes a trip back to his youth. Dream Rides has been brought to you by Steel Rubber Products, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology. And by Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. And by Flowmaster, the exhaust technology company.
I found a Vega. Not only did I find a Vega, but look at this, 8-track tapes. Believe it or not, this was the first album I ever owned. Foreigner, Styx, Molly Hatchet, REO Speedwagon. This is awesome stuff. This brings me back to my youth.
The car is a 1973 Chevrolet Vega station wagon.
Why?
Why? Because back in the 70s and 80s, that's what everybody had. They took a V8 Vega, put a big motor in it, and they were fast on the street.
And I assume this is very fast.
It runs pretty good. It sure does. Yeah.
And tell me about the engine, because you got those two Hollies sitting.
Well, it's a small block Chevrolet 427. It's got two Holly 660s on it, roller cam, of course headers, you know, MSD ignition, you know, a lot of good performance parts on it.
And you kept it old school. Tell me about the things that we were talking about earlier.
I did a Baldwin Motion clone is what I've done, and everything on the car is pre-1979 right in there, with the 8-track tape player, the Krager mags, the side pipes, thrust side pipes, traction bars, air shocks, you know, a lot going on here as far as, you know, looking the part of a mid-70s, you know, street car.
This is what a kid in the mid to late 70s would have done if he was going to street race.
If you were street racing and you had a Vega with a good motor, you were pretty fast. You were, everybody was looking for you, or they were avoiding you, you know.
And how long have you had it again?
I've had it since 2009.
It didn't look like this when you got it, right?
No, I bought it as a 65,000 original mile car from an elderly gentleman up in Pennsylvania. Looked for one for a long time with no rust, because they really rust down fast. So I found a good base to work with, and then I did my conversion on it.
So I know you don't want to say this, but do you race her? Do you run her?
I haven't taken it to the track, but when I do take it out, I run it.
Okay, so you haven't run it yet, but you are going to run it soon.
Yeah, I take it out and run it pretty hard and have fun with it.
Okay.
You know, like I used to back in the day, for sure.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
This Plymouth has a history with a famous gangster.
One of the gentlemen in the car club went to North Carolina and found it and brought it back. And then I ended up buying it from him. I've had it a couple of years now.
What do you like about it? Because it's definitely not the normal 32.
As far as I know, it's the only 4-door 32 and 4-door in the area.
Really?
There's not another one within a 100-mile radius.
And you like being unique?
That's it.
That's it? That's it. Tell me about it's 6-cylinder, right? Tell me about the engine.
It's got a little small 6-cylinder 4-speed transmission.
Okay.
And all the stock front end, everything's original on the front end of it.
So
it's got the 32 brakes.
Hey, tell me more about, you know, it's the original color. It's kind of got that gangster look. It's big.
Well, this is a lot like your Bonnie and Clyde drove Fords. Al Capone always run Plymouths. Matter of fact, back last spring I was watching the movie, and he had the exact same car and everything in his movie, in the last movie they had.
That's pretty cool.
Same color, everything.
So, and this is the original color?
Yeah.
Original color, everything. What's your favorite thing to do with this car?
Go to parades, car shows.
I bet you turn heads in parades.
Quite a few. Good. And when I get out on, you know, riding it around, everybody stops and looks, especially when you're running the interstate. Get up on the interstate, people just can't believe you got it on the interstate.
So she can move. So how fast can she move on the interstate?
She'll run 55, 60.
It's like a gangster. That'll get you away.
Just have to take it easy with her.
You gotta take it easy with her. Yeah, she is pretty old.
Yeah.
So you've been into cars your whole life, or?
I've always owned some type of old cars, hot rods and stuff. So.
Okay. So what are the next plans for this car? Anything else? Anything that needs to be done? Restoration on it?
The only thing, the black paint needs to be gone over again, but other than that, it's pretty well it.
Okay.
The interior and everything, it's stay just like it is.
And the interior is all original too?
It's got the original pattern and stuff.
Okay.
It's been recovered.
That's all for the Birthplace of Country Music Car Show. Next time, we stick around Tennessee in Elizabethton.